Hi, Ocean Chief here. Today we're going to look at often wondered how difficult it is to switch from the pad to the wheel. So we're going to have a look at Spain. I haven't played this on the wheel as yet. I recently switched from the wheel, or sorry, from the pad to the wheel about a month or two ago. Just been working my way through the circuits, trying to learn them all. So this is the one I'm currently trying to learn. So I thought I'd make a video just to see how many laps it would take, or if it's even possible for me to beat my best time trial time on the pad with the wheel. Now on the pad I was using most assists with medium traction control. I experimented with taking the ABS, anti-lock brakes off. But the pad, I just found it very difficult with the sticks. You don't get really much range of motion, and they're so sensitive. But just to explain my setup, I have a Thrustmaster T150, which is one of the cheaper wheels, if not the cheapest, but it has a lot of good reviews, and for the price it is very good. The pedals are, I mean, they feel a little bit plasticky, but I mean, this cost me about 140. That's very good. So here we go in the first lap. Okay, so the first lap, really, you're looking at just using this, you know, your first laps to learn this circuit. So I'm using manual gears here, so it's like you can see there already, straight off, first corner, first attempt off the circuit. But don't worry about that, you know, you're basically, you're learning the limits of the track, you're learning, you know, how much speed you can carry in the corners, braking points, and manual gears is a big one. So let's see if I can learn from my lap 1 mistake there. You already see I'm 0.1 up. Lost a lot of time there. But my pad time was 121.254, which isn't really that fast. It's probably about 3 or 4 seconds of a really, really good lap time. But I found with the pad, you know, I just couldn't get used to the sticks, even though I used the pad for years and years and years of racing. So you can see there with that mistake, I'm 10 seconds off. But one tip I would say if you're doing this yourself is to, you know, just generally when you're doing time trial, is sometimes when you crash, you'll just restart. And the problem with that is, do you ever buy an album and you only, you know, stick it on again, and you always hear, you know, obviously the first tracks, it comes on first, second track, and you don't always get time to listen to the whole album, so you end up becoming more familiar with the first half, or the first part of it. And it's the same with this. If you make a mistake, do not or crash or invalidate lap time like I just got there, don't always restart, because what you'll end up doing is you'll end up being really good at sector 1, maybe sector 2, but sector 3, because the lack of experience, because you've quit and restarted, then you'll find that that part of the circuit you've less confidence on, and it will show in your sector times. So this lap is not too bad. You can already see I'm only a few laps in, and I'm already almost matching my pad time. Alright, just learning this corner. That's a late apex. You want to take on that corner. For this corner you want to brake just there as the strip begins on the right hand side. That corner I found it, you know, I'm running no traction control, so that corner I found that the back end is very, very light, wants to get away from you, so I'm really having to kind of calibrate my feel for that corner. These corners are quite slow, and I'm finding them, you know, do struggle with these slower corners. There's like, I mean, if you make a mistake, you lose so much more time. And this corner here, or this little chicane, is very important to get a good run out of, because it leads onto the straight, and for straights you want to be, you know, getting as much speed as possible. So again, you can see there, just from that straight, I was already, you know, in the green in the delta. This corner I seem to be losing a bit of time there on that corner. Not bad. See, I got a purple sector in the first sector. Now this is only a handful of laps in, and I'm already, you know, everything's looking promising. And we'll see this corner again. You'll see just keep an eye on the back end. Just try to feather on the throttle. It's all about just learning, getting a feel for it, getting a rhythm for it. And here already I'm only at lap 3, and I'm not far off my my best time on the TT. Yeah, very wide in that corner. And with manual gears, like it's something that I thought I would never ever be able to use. I always used auto gears, never ever tried manual gears. Anytime I did, it just was terrible, absolutely terrible. But whenever I got the wheel, I just decided I'm just going to turn every assist off. I'm going to use manual. And at first, it's very, very difficult, a lot of crashing. But with time, you do, like, you can see here, like, the ABS anti-lock is off. And, you know, there's some lock-ups like that corner I tend to lock up on. But again, that's about just calibrating your feel for each corner, just getting your braking points. Because as I say, this circuit I'm not very familiar with on the wheel. And again, there the throttle was a touch too much there for that corner. And generally, you know, I'm sure, you know, it's common knowledge that you cannot fully brake and turn, as you will just lock up. That corner there, that runs just, you know, after the straight, you've got that sharp left-hander, and the next two corners, you can pretty much go full throttle. As I say, there you see it's next lap is invalidated, but I go ahead and play it anyway because it's just, you know, I'm not really obsessed with beating my time. I'm more focused on learning the circuit. Now you can see that very clean. And again, losing a bit of time on this corner, so yeah, and just touch the curb there. I could have easily just restart there, you know, but then I wouldn't have the experience of the rest of the lap. And let's see how I do here. See, car trying to get away. Looks like there's a bit of oversteer happening in that one particular corner. That corner you can take almost flat out. You have to lift just for the middle of the corner. And that's an incredibly, but you watch here, I can go full throttle, or that's the idea anyway. Like, and I've watched videos, and you can go full throttle, but it is hard. You need to make sure your steering input is minimal. But yeah, the difference from the pad to the wheel is big. Like in terms of being able to enjoy the game. It just adds so much more. and I would highly recommend it. So 0.3 up there. I've lost a lot of time there though. I think I'm losing the time just from the throttle. I'm just not not overly confident on pushing the throttle there too much, so I'm losing time. I'm 0.5 down here, lit apex on that corner, and you can see I'm using, the dotted line there. I'm using what do you call that? The information from arrival. I think it's actually my personal best. It's a telemetry. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. You can see the breakpoints. You can see the line I would have taken then. So it's just like a guide to go by. Now you can load up ones by your friends or other, other players in the global leaderboard who might be, higher than yourself, to give yourself more to aim for. A good thing is to do is to, load up one of the top ones. The ghost telemetry data, and then you can see, like, if you were to go, how the really, really fast times are set, where players are just, on the extreme limit. Okay, so we're into lap 7 of fully completed laps. Making up a bit of time as I come out of this corner. Yeah, I'm thereabouts. Yeah, in the green, the delta there. Now this corner, as a braking point, is a right-hand strip when it begins. And you could bring a lot more speed than that into it, but I'd say I'm not overly confident with the wheel just yet on this circuit. But you can see, like, I'm getting more and more confident. Just learning where the limits are, when to hold back, when to kind of slow down a bit. That corner, I was finding it quite difficult, and I think it's because I'm in the wrong gear. I'm in too high a gear, which is making the car very unstable, So lap 7, 11.5 off. That's obviously with a crash, so let's see if I can get a decent lap in here. And just the amount of time I'm making up in that one corner is quite shocking. Losing a lot of time in this first part of that second long right-hander, but in this second part of it, I'm gaining a lot of time. So now by here, I'm generally speaking getting in the green or matching pace with my pad time. Yeah, it's so easy to get that corner wrong, because you're just finding it, you're just trying, your mind is willing you to push that accelerator harder, and you can only push it so hard. So here, 0.6 off, again in the wrong gear there, so I think that's something I'll need to adjust when I go back into this. So 0.1 down, 0.1, 0.5. So a lot of mistakes at the final part. So the final part is what I'm really struggling with right now. Just turn my brake bias down a little bit there. So if you find you're locking up quite a lot, you can do that on the fly. Turn your brake bias down, and you can change your differential just to see if it improves the handling of the car. Different people have different driving styles, and there you see, one off, And another good reason why it's good to continue whenever you do have an off like that, when you're in time trial, is you kind of learn how to get back onto the track after a crash. Because that is something you will struggle with on the wheel, with no assist, etc. Because once you get on the grass or the gravel, it is in you have to go into a lower gear. Then you're finding that your chances of spinning out are massive because your tires are dirty, and I say lower gear, and you know, when it happens in a race. Okay, so restarting a lap there. I was about to finish that lap, and I just decided to try and get a clean start so it's actually a valid lap. So I'm obviously hungry for the to beat this time now. I'm on lap 9. And almost by the first corner, I'm almost 0.1 up. I got a pretty good exit there, still losing time though. But making it up in the last part of the corner. This should go 4. Yeah, I find staying in 4 for that corner was a bit, you know, made the car a bit more stable, so. You see there, whenever I went down to 3rd, it just, you know, made the car unmanageable. And here I'm 0.342 down. In that corner I'm losing a lot of time there, just got the braking point wrong, slowed down, went past the corner and missed the apex. Here I should be in 4th gear, but you see 3rd gear you can get away with a little bit. And here 0.5, losing a lot of time in the exit, and see, just got a little over eager in acceleration there, and because the tire was on the curb, it just spun me out. Okay, so lap 9. Although really I've done about 14 laps, I would say. Pretty good. So this is the first sector coming up, the end of it, that's it. So I'm purple there, still gaining time here. This little lock up didn't cost me too much, and I'm 0.3 up here. This is my best attempt so far, and just took too much curb there, and it punished me just rightly. But continue on, you can see here I'm 0.5 up, and this is the end of the 2nd sector. That was taken pretty well, and there, just overzealous on the throttle once again. But yeah, before I got the wheel, I was, you know, I just was thinking like, how, you know, do you have an advantage using the wheel? And the truth is, if you're willing to put in the time, you will have an advantage. You know, you will improve. You can be a lot smoother on the wheel, and you know, if you have all the assist off, once you get used to it, it actually you'll find that you'll out accelerate people who are using this, you know, the traction control. Even on medium, you will get better run out of slow corners, etc. So right now I'm pretty much matching my best pad time in the first sector there. This is the corner I'm struggling with at the minute. Don't want to take too much curb, and I do, and get the same message as last time, and still continue on and on to say If I was to restart here, first of all, you'd lose all your lap data. You know, you wouldn't. Still matching my time there, you know. So this is very promising. Going a bit wide there, losing a lot of time. 0.3, can I keep it there? See, losing a lot of time there, just too cautious, no confidence in that little chicane. The correct way to take it is to, you know, take a lot of curb going into both corners, so you can get a really good acceleration out of that last corner and into the straight. So here again, I'm in the green for another purple sector. So you can see the first sector, pretty good. Second sector, yeah, we're getting there. And the third sector, I'm really sucking at. And by the way, if anyone can, you know, if anyone feels like I used to feel, like, I don't know if I should get a wheel, is it going to really benefit, you know, am I really going to use it? The truth is, if I can, you know, improve using the wheel, then, especially with all the assists off a manual, then anyone can. Again, lose it there, but I was 0.6, probably would have finished about 0.7, 0.8 down, which is, you know, quite an improvement already. So we're on a lap 11 here. We twitched there mid-corner, which wasn't great, but still looks like I'm going to set a purple sector or close to it. Just missed out there. Matching my pad time. Can gain a lot of time in this corner, it seems. This one keeps catching me out, but see, once again, too much corner. But this corner, the end of the curb on the left hand side, is your turning point. Lift just slightly. If you keep an eye on my accelerator for that corner, you'll see it just a slight lift, just so you can turn the car in, or else if you go flat out you will go into the gravel there and lose a lot of time. So even though this is an invalid lap, I'm 0.1 up, losing a lot of time in this sector though. Yeah, 0.2. This isn't bad though, it's 0.283 off. No, that's very close. It wasn't an invalidated lap, but it just goes to show that I'm improving quite a lot. Took a lot of curb there. I was quite lucky to go it away with no invalidated lap time warning message. Purple sector here, 0.126 up. Lit apex, missed the apex there, still managed to make up time. Okay, good that I was able to get out of that quarter with the invalidated lap time error message. That was a wee bit conservative, well, hell a lot conservative that time. Okay, I'm in the green here, but this is a part of the track I'm really sucking on. This is looking okay. And, yep, there you go. Beat my trim tail time by 0.099. And I just did an extra lap or two here just to kind of see, you know, how quickly I'm going to improve. And you know, if you compare this to my first lap, or you know, my first few laps, you can just see that I'm carrying a lot more speed here. I'm a lot more confident. Like that corner, you know, not going in too deep. Slight lift there. That was a big lift there, actually. So losing, you know, you can see already, like, there's places where I can still make up a lot of time. But look at this, 0.75 up. Lost a lot of time there, beginning it on a good run out of the corner. This is where I will lose time. 0.5 and get a good run out of here, which I do. And that's 0.4 up, so there you go, 120.762. 120.762, and you know, my original best pad time, and I had set quite a few laps in the pad on Spain, so 121.254. So I've improved by around about half a second, but I'm now feeling a lot more confident that I could just quickly beat that time. And you know, that was a 120. 119 is very possible, but you can see there are some of the better times by some of my friends in the global leaderboard. You know, you think you set a fast time, and then you look at those times, and you might be 3-4 seconds off that.